Mark, as a critic, what is the service that you're giving the general public?
It is not the critic's job. It is not my job to tell someone if something is good or bad, nor is it my job to be right about any of the artwork that I think about and talk about. It's actually impossible for me to be right because all opinions are subjective. It is my job to use my skills for analysis and clear articulation of ideas to facilitate a conversation about art that encourages both me and my audience to think more deeply about why we care about the things we care about and how we care about them. So if I am, as a critic, creating opportunities for a community of people to dig deeper into their own sense of their aesthetics, I firmly believe that I am also then creating an opportunity for people to better understand themselves. I have also, as a writer, found a type of publication that I like the most to be in, which are publications that I consider to have rigorous thoughts in a casual voice. So like Vulture is a place where I wrote about the Oscars this year, which is the culture website of New York Magazine. That is the perfect outlet for me to write about the Oscars because they have rigorous thoughts in a casual voice. Honestly, I used to do all writing, and now my engagement with critical discourse is spread out across writing, podcasting, and live event hosting. And that is exciting to me because it allows me to reach a lot of different types of people in a lot of different ways, and it keeps me on my toes. And I have learned that being a critic is being able to carry your curiosity and your analysis into many different formats. And the thought of the critic as just being the person who writes the reviews that are like this long in the paper is outdated, and it actually limits our ability to have meaningful conversations with people.
How much time do you spend consuming your art?
Yeah, normally when I am able to go to the theater, I go 3 times a week, maybe 4. I am constantly listening to music. I am constantly watching things. Like I find it very energizing because I don't really watch anything passively. And that was even true before I knew there was a job for someone who can't watch things passively. But, like I get really invested in understanding how the narrative works. So I don't even feel like it's work. So I do it all the time. Every critic is coming from a subjective place. And I think the old mythology that the critic is objective has fallen away by and large. Being a critic is also being an artist because the ability to perceive something and create a world of language that evokes what you've seen takes artistic skill. And I am not in any way saying that my art is the same as the playwright's art or the dancer's art or any other, but it is an art. I've been able to, very fortunately, work as an arts journalist for 17 years, and the way that one gets started has not really changed in that time. The key thing is always to be very cognizant of who you want to be as a writer, in the sense of, have you found the publications that seem to resonate the most with your voice and with your perspective? Because one of the things that I had to learn kind of the hard way at the beginning of my career was that I am not right for every magazine, and not every magazine is right for me, or website, or paper, or whatever. And I started to find a much more lasting amount of professional satisfaction when I started altering the way that I would reach out to publications based first and foremost on which publications I most enjoyed reading. And then I would take a look at those publications and I would think, okay, what am I a specialist in? What do I know about? What things can I do or say that this publication might be able to use? And then I would find in the masthead the person who seemed to be the most appropriate editor. And I would email that person and introduce myself and just say, I like these things about your publication. Here's a very short snippet of information about what I do. If you would like some clips, just let me know. And then I would start a conversation with editors who, frankly, are always looking for more people to write for them. Even if they can't pay someone to do it right now, no editor is ever thinking, I am all good, I'm all filled up with writers. And if a writer can demonstrate to a publication, hey, my voice and your publication's voice are simpatico, then you've done the writer has done the publication and the editor a favor. And if you're thinking about wanting to be an arts journalist who really focuses on the hyperlocal, probably the way to go is to find collaborators and publications and voices and partners who are working in something other than the arts, and then let yourself be the arts voice of this thing. So like maybe there's a hyperlocal group that is talking about your community in a way that's meaningful to you, but there's room for arts to be discussed in a different way, in the way that you can. If you decide in any way to step into the world of culture as a professional, you are going to be buffeted on all sides by people who tell you that your work is worthless, that you don't mean anything, that your work is expendable, that blah, you know, there's just always going to be a lot of that coming at you. And I find that I don't have time for that because I know this is where I'm supposed to be. So I just like, that's why I've worked so hard on the project, the lifelong project of articulating for myself why I know I'm supposed to be here. And I think that we all can feel empowered by knowing that we're supposed to be here for a reason and that this work really matters.
What do you love about this? What makes this your thing?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Every single day, I get to think about something deeply as my job. And then multiple times a week, I get to talk to someone who is thoughtful about why they love what they love. And the feeling that like fusing intellect and empathy is my job is exhilarating because it makes me feel like that my life has purpose, quite frankly. If I can interview someone and make them feel listened to, and I can hear something that they've said that I've never thought of before, and then I can write about that or communicate about it in a way that other people engage with, that feels purposeful to me. And I guess that's what I love, using my communicative abilities to create something that feels purposeful. And that purpose, again, is the feeling of engaging people with a sense of who they are and how they engage with the world. Yeah.
Such a nice way to wrap it up with a bow.
Kimberly, this was so much fun. Thank you so much.